Hello, boys and girls. Welcome to Learning English with Benjamin Samuel. Today, will future, revision, and conditional sentences type 1. Alright, so let's start with a quick revision of the will future. As you already know, you often use the will future if you want to say that something will happen in the future. You also use this tense when you talk about assumptions, Vermutungen, or predictions, for example, weather forecasts in the future. These are often events and things that we cannot influence ourselves. But be careful. In German, we often use the present tense if we talk about these things. In English, we use the will future for that. Now let's look at some example sentences. Let's start with sentence number 1. Tomorrow I will or I'll go to school. Here I just want to give the information that tomorrow I want to go to school. Therefore, I use the will future here. Let's move on to sentence number 2. I think that you will or you'll feel better tomorrow. Here we have a prediction that I think that you will feel better tomorrow. These sentences often appear with words like I think, I'm sure, maybe, or probably. Let's have a look at sentence number 3. Talk to the kids, then you will or you'll get to know them better. We can see that we use the present tense in German, if we translate the sentence. Sprich mit den Kindern, dann lernst du sie besser kennen. Before we will move on to the conditional sentences, let's just quickly repeat how the will future is formed. You just need will plus the infinitive of the corresponding verb that you want to use in your sentence. That's simple. Negation, die Verneinung, formed with will not or won't plus the infinitive. As you can see in all 3 example sentences, you have always the option to use the shorter form of will. Now let's move on to the conditional sentences type 1. Let's start with an example sentence. If it rains, we will or we'll stay at home. This is a conditional sentence type 1. What do you think? When do we use these kinds of sentences? Stop the video, take a sheet of paper and write down what you think when we use these kinds of sentences. The solution will appear in a few seconds. 3, 2, 1. Type 1 conditional sentences can be described as what-if sentences. Was ist wenn Sätze. They describe what can happen under certain circumstances or not. If we look at our example sentence, this means, what happens if it rains? Sure, we will stay at home. So the 2 parts of the sentence are connected in the sense that what happens or is described in the if clause has a consequence or effect on what is described in the main clause. So the if clause names the condition which has an effect on what happens in the main clause. As you can see here, we use the simple present in the if clause, whereas we use the will future in the main clause. The main clause can also contain modal verbs like can, must, could, or should plus the infinitive. I hope I could help you with my video. If you didn't understand something, just pause the video or watch it again. You can watch it as many times as you like. So, goodbye and see you in class.